Most of us assume we are in total control of our financial decisions. We weigh the price of a product, evaluate its utility, and determine if it meets a genuine need. But the modern checkout screen doesn't wait for your conscious reasoning to kick in. It creates an environment where the decision is made before you even realize you've started thinking. There is a biological reality hiding behind every app and storefront. Your brain reacts to specific wavelengths of visible light significantly faster than it can process logic. Because of this, modern interface design has evolved into a system that monitors and directs human behavior. When a specific color hits your eye, the signal bypasses the prefrontal cortex, your center for rational thought, and traces directly into the limbic system. This allows designers to influence urgency, trust, and reward on a purely biological level. Digital platforms use these visual triggers to actively shape the emotional conditions under which you surrender your money. Long before civilization, early humans survived by recognizing highly saturated red as a rapid signal for danger, blood, or biological necessity. That ancient wiring remains active in your nervous system today. When red wavelengths hit your retinal cone cells, they immediately signal the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center. The amygdala responds by triggering a release of cortisol molecules, causing immediate physiological arousal and your heart rate to spike. Modern e-commerce exploits this exact biological pathway. When you see a hypersaturated red flash sale or only two left banner, this color creates visual aggression, interrupting your scanning behavior and forcing you to fixate directly on the offer. A calm consumer will pause, check of tabs, and compare prices. By creating a sudden surge of physical urgency, aggressive red interfaces compress your reaction time and eliminate the space you need for rational reflection. If red creates urgency, the opposite end of the spectrum is designed to manufacture surrender. Today, fintech apps, cryptocurrency exchanges, and automated investing platforms are flooded with sterile blues and icy cyan gradients. Biologically, cooler color tones reduce perceived threat intensity. These wavelengths naturally slow the heart rate and promote a sense of calm. We also have decades of cultural conditioning reinforcing this biological effect. Hospitals adopted blue, government portals adopted blue, and established corporate banks adopted blue, training our subconscious to link these shades with stability and procedural legitimacy. The danger arises when this automatic trust response is detached from actual risk. A highly volatile cryptocurrency or an unregulated lending product can feel emotionally safe simply because it sits inside a clean, minimalist blue dashboard. The underlying math might be predatory, but the polished, medical-style aesthetic overrides your analytical skepticism. This polished interface encourages user surrender by hijacking the deep psychological authority we have long associated with medical and established financial institutions. These static color choices are now giving way to something far more aggressive. Driven by artificial intelligence, modern interfaces are no longer fixed designs. They operate as active observers, continuously studying your behavior. Designers employ a technique called the chromatic nudge. By invisibly shifting visual contrasts and saturation, they steer your natural eye movements directly toward high-margin subscription plans, while cheaper options fade into the perceptual background. Personalization algorithms monitor your vulnerability in real time. Data like cursor velocity feeds into a system that actively shifts interface parameters. If you hesitate, a stark grid dissolves into a comforting gradient. If you show impulse, the platform spikes warm reward colors. This level of dynamic adaptation moves beyond persuasion into computational emotional engineering. You assume you are navigating the interface, but in reality, the interface is navigating you. These same neurological principles extend to physical retail spaces, which now operate as flagship laboratories for consumer behavior. When you walk through the doors, you immediately enter the decompression zone. This is a visually muted, low-complexity entryway, engineered specifically to disarm your sensory defenses and reset your nervous system before the actual shopping begins. Once inside, you are subjected to color bathing. Retailers strictly calibrate shifting lighting temperatures to alter how you perceive their products, using cool white lights to make everyday items appear exceptionally premium and precise. The surrounding environment relies on low stimulation palettes and soft ambient lighting to distort your temporal awareness. By making you lose track of time, they encourage you to stay longer, which statistically increases the probability of a purchase. The modern flagship store operates as architectural behavioral programming, designed to optimize the exact emotional conditions necessary for spending. These mechanisms turn the marketplace into a battleground for the human nervous system. This moves the conversation beyond simple advertising into a question of human autonomy. If the desire to purchase a product is being externally engineered by algorithms measuring your fatigue, your financial choices are no longer fully independent. To see how fragile this system is, look at this checkout page comparison. On the left, hyper-saturated reds create panic, but apply a grayscale filter to your device, as seen on the right, and the layout is instantly exposed as flat and uninteresting. Stripping the saturation away neuters the dopamine appeal of these triggers. Without that aggressive stimulation, your prefrontal cortex has space to regain control. Another effective defense is intentional purchase delay. By forcing yourself to wait 30 minutes before hitting buy, you deliberately break the compressed reaction timeline that modern checkout systems rely on to force a sale. The illusion of the modern market only functions when you don't realize it's happening. True financial freedom in this era now requires learning exactly how to see the invisible colors controlling the digital world around you.